riffraff. Yeah, she's definitely not trustworthy.
Mike, are we on in the Oneg? If not, turn it up in there, will you? Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Elyon, Malachi HaRachamim, Mi Melech, Malachi HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Uchim L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Malachi HaRachamim Mi Melech Malachi HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruchuni L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Malachi HaRachamim Mi Melech Malachi HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzirchim L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Malachi HaRachamim Mi Melech Malachi HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Good Shabbos, everyone. Is anyone else exhausted?
Oy.
Is anyone not exhausted? Maybe that was the... no, that was a much quieter response. Yeah. It's been that kind of week, huh? It's been that kind of month. And so we come to Shabbos, which is always there every week. There's this tradition that says if you are lost in the desert, count 6 days and then it is Shabbos. That no matter our world, Shabbos isn't something that's happens outside of us. Shabbos is something we create. A day apart is something that we create. A moment, a space in time where we can just breathe, where we can let go of what we have been holding, where we can let go of the responsibilities that feel so weighty, that are so weighty, and where for just a day we can be. If you look at the traditional observances, you don't make a fire. You don't change the world. You don't creatively destroy. You don't control. And the other big idea of Shabbos is that you are where you are, that you don't travel, that you don't move too much, that you are here present with the people that you are present with. Sometimes we are better than others in my household about putting the cell phones away on Shabbos. Sometimes we are better than other times about putting social media away on Shabbos. But I think about this value again and again, this idea of just being present with the people we are with, or the place we are at. So in a moment, we are going to light these Shabbos candles. We are going to bring in these 25 hours apart, this time where we set ourselves apart from the world for just a moment so that we are a little more ready for that world when Shabbos is done. As Rabbi Susan says, we put down the schmutz of the week. And as I say, knowing it will be there waiting for us after Shabbos. So invite you to turn to folks next to you, to turn to those around you and wish them a good Shabbos. Give them a handshake or a hug or an introduction or... Yeah. I think she's going to come to Costa Rica. Helen and Cheryl, will you light our candles? And that table is oddly far away if you want to roll it over too. So for those who don't know, Helen and Cheryl, amazing human beings. But beyond just being amazing human beings, actually a part of their amazingness is the way that they have really helped to lead this effort to make sure that an Afghan family and a Ukrainian family who have found their way to the United States, who have found their way to the great metropolis of St. Louis, Missouri, to make sure that they found their way home. So bring us more light. So bring in this light, bring in the light that we see, bring in the light that we feel, bring in the light that we know is there. Take a moment for L'Chad Odi. Take a moment to imagine the world can be a different place. The mystics say that Shabbos is a taste of the world to come. A taste of the world as it could be. Not how it is, but how it could be. And so we hold on to that. We hold on to that light. We hold on to that image of the way the world could and should be. We keep it burning. Keep it burning.
Page 8.
Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likras kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nika abela. Shamo v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shemo tiferet v'litzilah. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likras kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Top of page 9. Likras Shabbat. Lechu v'nelcha. Ki hi makor habrecha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof maaseh b'mashvat chila. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likras kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. It'oreri, ki va'orech, kumi uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai, laich nigla. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likras kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. We turn towards the entrance. We welcome Shabbos coming in. Welcome the world changing. Shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, u'tola, toch emuneh, am segula. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likras kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 you're standing, invite you to remain standing. Page 11. Baruch Hu is one of our oldest blessings. Going back before there were Jews, and there were just Judeans. When we were a people of a land, rather than a people. The Kohen Gadol, the high priest, would come out from the inner sanctum, would look out and say, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach, and the meaning didn't matter because what he really meant was, are you ready to start? And everyone else would look back and say, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed, and again the meaning didn't matter because what they meant was, we're mostly paying attention. And so we call ourselves to this work. We move past the invitation, we move past the introduction to the work of Shema, to the work of holding a world that we have to believe can be one, even as the duality feels overwhelming. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Be seated. At a meditation I used to do, when the panic would feel overwhelming, when the little things would feel so big and the big things would feel impossible, I would imagine myself like a drone, looking down on me, going higher into the air, until all you could see was St. Louis, until all you could see was the Midwest, until states disappeared and it was just the geography of mountains and rivers, higher into continents, keep going, until everyone and everything we've ever known was all just a pale blue dot in the corner of a picture. This is Ma'ariv Aravim. Every evening, we're called to do this work, to back away, to stop thinking for a moment from our human perspectives, from our ego perspectives, to imagine a divine perspective, a cosmic perspective, to let the little things and the big things fade into the distance for just a moment. Together on page 12. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach sharim uvidvuna mishanei yitim umachalif et hazmanim ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מבני חושך, וחושך מבני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המרעיב ערבים. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. Maimonides, living 1,000 years ago, said there are only two prayers. There's the prayer of love, and there's the prayer of fear. The prayer of fear for him was Ma'ariv Aravim, fear of looking up into the stars, fear of being so small, awe. And the prayer of love, he said, was like looking at the stars, seeing the connections, seeing the constellations. We are small, and yet our mystics have said for generations, we are to live as if the whole world needs us. Holding both of these, we close our eyes. We say the words of Shema, page 15. It's your custom to rise or be seated. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 You may be seated. Page 16. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. About a month ago, I was over at Eden Seminary teaching a day-long intensive, a class to progressive Christian ministers, future ministers on messianism. It's not entirely true. It's on Star Trek and messianism. Really. But we studied together a little bit of Rambam's teachings from the Mishnah Torah. Little plug for what we're studying on Tuesday night there. But we studied from the Laws of Kings what Rambam has to say about the Messiah, about Mashiach. And what's interesting when you look at it is how impossible it is. The idea of the Messiah, according to Rambam, is something that has to be far away. It's dangerous, he teaches. Dangerous when we believe that we can create the world right now. But the idea of the Messiah, he says, is something that has to be near. Because it's dangerous when we stop believing that we can make that world. This in-between space, where we believe that maybe if we do it right, our kids, our grandkids, or their grandkids will live in a better world. But not a world where we think we can get it tomorrow. It's our job. It's our job as Jews to not give up. Just because the temple comes down doesn't mean it can't be rebuilt. And so we sing Mi Chamocha every day, twice a day. Our statement of faith that we will keep walking. That we will keep walking until we all can cross on dry land. Yididum yidiyay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-do. Yididum yidiyay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-do. Yididum yidiyay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-ay-day-ay-day. Yididay-day-do, yay-day-ay-ay-yo. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha neda bakodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele nora tehilot, osef ele yai-dai-dai-dai, yom tididai-dai-dai, yom tididai-dai-dai, yididum yidiyay-ay-yo. Yay-day-day-day-day-do, yiddy-dum, yiddy-ay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-day-do. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed yada-da-da, yada. Yum tiddy-day-day-day, oh, 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 oh. Yum tiddy-day-day-day, yiddy-dum, yiddy-ay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-day-do, oh, 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 yiddy-dum, yiddy-ay-ay-yo, yay-day-day-day-day-do. V'ne'emar ki vada Adonai et Yaakov, uga'alo meyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael, Ga'al Yisrael, yada-da-da, yada. Yum tiddy-day-day-day, oh, 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 oh. Yum tiddy-day-day-day, yiddy-dum, yiddy-ay-ay-yo. Yay day 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 do. Yiddy dum yiddy ay ay yo. Yay day 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 do. Yiddy dum yiddy ay ay yo. Yay day day do. Yiddy dum yiddy ay ay yo. Yay day 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 yo.
Page 20.
Can't sing Hashkivenu without thinking of Rabbi Randy. Hashkivenu is this idea of there always being a light that we can't see, but it's always there, always there. And if Rabbi Randy's not a light in this world, I don't know who is. So I just need to share that I believe right now he is crossing into Canada. He promised he's coming back. We did point out Central or Canadian Reform Congregation, also a CRC. It's, Costa Rican congregation also. So we hold on to that light, the light we know is there, the light that we can feel, the light of each other, the light of the goodness in this world. Hold on to that faith, as Rabbi Susan says, the belief that somehow, some way, if we sing this right, the good in us, the good in all of us, can somehow win. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom.
Shalom.
Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Fros aleinu sukat, sukat shlom brecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Cover over us tonight, Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for you, for those you love, a Sukkot Shalom over all creation, over all creation, over all creation. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol Amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. everyone to rise as you are able as we enter into the Amidah, our time for prayer, our time for looking at the gap between the world as it is and the world we are going to create. And on Shabbos, that is a world more filled with rest. It sounds like we've got some yawns, so we're on our way there. It's really... The Amidah begins on page 23 and goes all the way through 32. We'll daven quietly, each of us on our own, in our own way, preceded by the Chatzi Kaddish on page 22. Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shamei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayechon
Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Ubizman Kariv,
V'yimeru Amen. Yeshmei Rabbah mevorach, ve'alam olam me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh,
V'yithadar, v'yithaleh, v'yithalah, Shmei Kedusha
Barichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata,
Damiran
Be'alma, V'yimeru, Amen. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi agita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu v'Avraham v'Yitzchak. Elohei v'Yilham v'Elohei Tzibah. Chazeh v'Shiyim Baruch atah Tagi b'Oleh Shiva Ruach u'Morid Hashem. טוב, כי נוכל לך. מאוד שלמה וישראל. שלום עליי נצמת השם. סלמן שמך, סלמן ימינך, סלמן תורתך, סלמן קדושתך, סלמן יחרצון ידידך, הושיע ימינך, יהי רצון מרפי. Natsuki Kohali. Amen. moment from Misha Berach Lecholim. For a prayer for healing for those in need of a little bit of shalem, a little bit of refuah, a little bit of wholeness. Refuat ha-nefesh v'refuat ha-guf is the order we say it in. A hierarchy, I think. The healing of the soul first, and the healing of our bodies. We know that a cure is not always possible, but healing always is. So if you're thinking of someone, if you'd like to share their name, I invite you to do so. To rise or put up a hand. Josiah. Thinking of Michael. Thanks, Josiah. Yeah. Thinking of them both. Thinking of them both. Aye, for Ben Singer, for his wife, I just heard, sending their family so much love. So much love. And for Ken. Aye. For Lois Alpert. And we're sending you pre-healing for back surgery. For Kalanit, one of the wonderful souls in our community. Yeah. Aye, for David, thinking of David, sending you all love. Paul. Thinking of Violet. Nothing sweeter than watching you walk in here with Violet. Sarah. Aye. Thank you. Michael, do we have names from the stream? Chelsea? Noah?
Yes, we're praying for Sherry Waxman, Pat Feeney, Lauren Yaffe, Amitai Beniso, Denise, Andrew, Jamie, and for Kyle Friels.
Page 34.
Avotenu mekor habrecha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Jay Brandt and Hannah Roberts, for Marilyn Weiss and Renee Garcia, for Essie Mitchell and Gloria Lash, Amy Lampert and Bitzelel Cohen, for Maya Purnell and Susan Spiegel, who's doing a lot better, for Danielle Tzvi Benfega Toiba, and for Alon Nissenboim, who's really doing a lot better. I saw a video of him up and walking today. For Patricia Nelson and Curtis Behrens, for Hank Weber and Adam Young and Anna Navarro, for Will Mason and Yitzchak Ben Mordechai Lev, for Travis Brown and Ricky Reeves, for Bracha Zelda, Bat Rachel Golda, Maggie Bradford, Jordan Cronemer, Meredith Berkowitz, and Robert Shepard. Misheberach imotenu mekor habrecha li'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We say Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed is the source of goodness that calls us to the work of healing. And we say Amen. Invite folks, page 38, to rise as you are able, as we begin to conclude our service. I never stop liking that. As we begin to conclude our service, page 38, with the words of Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, la'atei kedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו, אינו רמד מלכנו, אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום וישבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. Before we get to Kaddish, before we get to everyone's favorite part of announcements, it takes just a couple minutes for a little bit of Torah. So on Wednesday, we were looking at texts of resilience, is what we're calling them. And we were looking at this text from Rebbe Yochanan ben Zakkai. Is this a name that means anything to anyone? Rebbe Yochanan, 2,000 years ago, was living in Jerusalem under siege, and it looked like the siege was going very poorly. Radicals, we might call them accelerationists today, burned up all of the stores of grain and of wood that were inside the city, forcing war with Romans, a war that we would certainly lose. And so Rebbe Yochanan, his followers sneak him out of the city in a coffin. We're told they just load him in and they sort of put him by the city walls, and he slides right down to the Roman garrison. So he gets down there and he finds the Roman general, I think Vespasian. And we're told that he goes to the Roman general and predicts he will become an emperor, and he does become the emperor. And so the emperor says, I will give you 3 wishes. This is an old idea, 3 wishes, I guess. This was the genie. And so Rabbi Yochanan looks back at him and he thinks, right, his first inclination is, save my people. And he realizes that this is a wish that is no longer possible. And so he says, save our Torah. Save our light. And so he goes with permission of the Romans to start Yavne, to start a tiny little city on the coast, a tiny little place where Torah would still emerge, where no matter what was happening in the world, no matter the politics of that moment, and if you think our politics are depressing, go back then, that light would still shine. I keep thinking, well, I don't think I need to explain why I keep thinking of this, but I think no one really believed in American exceptionalism quite like American Jews. Right? This has been an exceptional place in Jewish history for Jews. There's no one who enjoyed watching The West Wing, I think, quite like American Jews enjoyed at least the first 4 seasons. But so Rabbi Yochanan makes his way, I promise we'll come back to Americans. Rabbi Yochanan makes his way over to Yavne, and they're trying to figure out what does it look like to do Jewish, to spread Torah in a world without the temple, because everything that anyone had ever known as Jewish emanated from the temple. On Rosh Hashanah, the shofar was blown in the temple. And in particular, if Rosh Hashanah, if the new year was on a Shabbat, the only place you were allowed to blow the shofar was the temple. And so, of course, Rabbi Yochanan and his followers, these refugees within their own land, almost immediately after they've made their way there, it is Rosh Hashanah and it is Shabbat, and they are presented with this problem. Can we really have Rosh Hashanah without the shofar? And can we really blow the shofar without the temple? And we get this incredible story in the Talmud. We get this incredible ruling where it says, actually, Davka, in a world with no temple, the shofar has to be blown everywhere. In a world where there is no central place, where light and truth and justice and our vision of what the world could be is coming out, we have to be that vision. We have to blow our shofars everywhere. Politics seems impossible right now. But how we treat people in our homes is not impossible. Making sure that CRC is a vision of the world, a Yavne of what the world could be, is not impossible. Creating communities that protect and embrace is not impossible. And so, a week and a half ago, on Wednesday, we lit a Shiva candle, and we left it burning over there for a week. We didn't talk about it, actually. We didn't talk about it last Shabbat. We didn't talk about it when people came, and yet it was just sort of sitting there. And it was for me more than anything else, because I said, that's how long we are allowed to grieve. Now we got to blow those shofars. So, just a few announcements. There's a High Holy Day survey that has gone out. It's in the newsletter. It's on QR codes in the lobby and in the living room, which is exciting because we have a wonderful new communications director who does such things. Or maybe, Becky, did you do the QR code? Are we giving Luke the credit here? Okay. Oh my God, if you want to talk about messianic ages, by the way, CRC's office works really well. It's like really, it's incredible. It's incredible. So do we have salt to throw? Yeah, exactly. But so scan that. We would love to hear what you thought of the holidays, what worked, what could use some energy, whether you loved the music or whether you loved having alternative services or want everyone to be in the same, whatever it is, it would mean a lot to us if you would go and fill out that survey. Grief Support Group, one of the sacred communities here at CRC, will be held at 12:30 in the library or on Zoom, November 16th. Is that tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow. CRC is looking for volunteers for room at the inn, also tomorrow. There are all sorts of different time blocks you could do tomorrow. It's at the Drury Building in Marygrove. So if you're interested, check the website and you get more details there. There is well, let me give you the two announcements for the 20th. For the 20th, which is that Thursday? Am I right on that? Wednesday? Wednesday. Wednesday the 20th, not Thursday, Wednesday the 20th. We're going to have a CRC Town Hall again here at 7 o'clock, where amongst other things, you'll find out just how amazing our staff is and the amazing work that this turnaround board has done to really set CRC on a path where we are ready for the next 40 years. So join us Wednesday at 7 here if you can. Earlier on Wednesday at 5:30, Ashray is having a North City photo ID project and is looking for volunteers starting at 5:30. So get that information from the website. Save the date, November 23rd, to go together with CRC friends to the New Jewish Theater to see First Date. I know nothing about this. Other than the New Jewish Theater has been putting on really wonderful shows. So if you'd like to see some live theater and go with CRC friends, November 23rd, 4 o'clock. We also have an invite from Moishe House South City that is having a dinner right after this, that anyone who would like to go crash that dinner is welcome. So Michael has the address back in the streaming booth, so holler at Michael after services if you would like to go to South City Moishe House. Okay, any other crowdsourced announcements? Yeah, Paul.
Our Holy Ground Holiday Concert is a week from Sunday, November 24th, at the First Church of Christ, with all the Central Western congregation, including CRC. It's going to be from 3 o'clock to 4:30, and we invite everybody and anybody to come.
Holy Grounds, this amazing community of congregations around here that CRC has been a part of for a very long time, that works together to do really meaningful justice work. So join us on Sunday. I'm just repeating it for those who didn't hear and for the stream. Sunday starting when? 3 o'clock. I will not be there. I'm going to be in Costa Rica for my mom's 70th birthday. Any other announcements? Any other crowdsourced anythings? So we take a moment. We take a moment, as we always do at the end of services, to acknowledge those in our community who are mourning right now. If you're thinking of someone, if you're saying Kaddish, I invite you to rise or put up a hand or some other way that we can acknowledge you and we can hear the names.
Joe and Alan Goldberg named after Alan's sister, Jody Baxter.
Aye. Have a blessed memory.
My sister-in-law, Maria. Two names for Sarah Lyman. Opie Byer and David Tripp.
Thinking of them. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, Ben and Hopi. Blessed memory. Of a blessed memory. Oh my God, she must be kvelling about the two of you, though. So, we think of those who have yahrzeit right now. For David Newstead and David Levin. For Estelle Kalish and Ethel Siegel. For Giselle Toskin, and Paul's mom, and Greg Carlson. For Erwin Goldberg and Jane Fox. For Janet Cunningham and Jean Friedman. For Martin Leon and Rose Frager. For for Rose Saxon and Ruth Bloomberg and Stuart Sagal, for Sylvia Birnbaum and Becky Alper, for Bernard Walker and Eleanor Weiss, for Ethel Lee Schwartz and Judith Komen, for Abraham Gimpelson and Arthur Klein, for David Weinstein and Dennis Epstein and Hans Levy, for Helen Abrams and Howard Keith, for Linda Lester and Marvin Katz, for Pearl Sofer and Samuel Davis, for Sonia Silverman and Vera Epstein, for Gary Goldman and Joseph Robinson, for Lee Lax and Samuel Levin, for Sam Wayne and Mo Sigaloff, for Barbara Goldmunts and Bernice A. Gerwich, for Evelyn Rosenthal and Jake Scheinbein, for June Stubb and Robert Blair and Conrad Caulfield, for Elaine Gralnick and Caleb Falvey and Mayor Gerstein, for Monty Levy and Pauline McAllister, for Rudolph Singer and Sarah Sinreich, for Vida Tota and Ben Kurtzman, for Edna Levitt, Herbert Lance Jr., for Jeanette Rosengarten and Rosalind Litwin, for Shifra Amsel, and for those we've lost this year, for Sammy Schaas, who taught a generation and a half kindergarten here at CRC, including me, for Susan Koppelman, Mary Lou Bollinger, for Jill Petzel, Larry Badler, and Carl Smith, for Bette Miller, and Morris Tamsky and Ed Pepper, for Marilyn Schreier and Ron Kramer and Dr. Eduardo Slatopolsky, for Gary Sewell and Ann Lee Frank, for Rhonda Banford and Ralph Wafer, for Marilyn Fox and Eileen Ehrlich, for Myra Levine and Gina Rotman, for Sherry Fox, for Miriam Weintraub, for Barry Friedman. Have a blessed memory.
And Gaza, just to remind you that there are 101 hostages who've been held hostage for 406 days. This week in Israel, Zvi Belfer, 52, Shamun Najim, 33, Major Ithamar Friedman, 34, First Sergeant Ophir Eliyahu, 20, First Sergeant Naveh Asalim, 21, First Sergeant Gary Zolat, 21, First Sergeant Or Katz, 20, Sergeant Shalev Safron, 21, First Sergeant Sharia Elohim, 21, Captain Itay Markovich, 22, First Sergeant Nir Gofer, 20, First Sergeant Aurora Khan, 20, Sergeant Yoav Daniel, 19, Lieutenant Ivri Dickstein, 21.
Page 41, for all of those that we miss, for all of those that we loved, for all of those who have died in so many wars. Page 41, invite everyone to rise as you are able. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. Aseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru. Amen. Aseh Shalom B'mromav,
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru
Ve'imru. Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. We say Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of all of those that we mourn, all of those that we miss, be a blessing in our lives. And we say, Amen. Let's give each other a blessing. Yivirechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Cling to each other.
Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may our lives, may our community, may the whole world have a little bit of the taste of peace that we have in this room. And we say, Amen. And Shabbat Shalom. And a little bit of sweetness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. This is on page 46 for anyone who would like. V'shabbat kodsho b'yahavav ratzon inchilanu, zicharon l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh, zecher letziad mitzrayim, ki vanu v'chata, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol amim, V'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Good Shabbos, everyone. And just one more plug as long as you're here. Thursdays at noon, we've been doing Torah study in person only. Bring your lunch here at CRC. It's been amazing these last 2 weeks. We've had to move rooms twice because there's so many people coming. So come and join us, bring your lunch, study a little Torah. We're calling it Torah from scratch.